Hello again, everyone, and welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, along with Commissioner Rick Diesel. How are you today, Commissioner?
Good, Matt. I'm good. We're as of the taping of this, we are just under 2 weeks until Fright Night, buddy.
I know, and we've got a couple of match announcements today we're going to share with you. You may have already seen them on our Facebook page, but if you haven't, hold on. We have got some news to share with you today. It is very exciting, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Let me share my screen. You would think that I would get more, that bright green button would stick out a little more, and I would be able to do this. Still working on getting the live program back for you, YouTube, back on Facebook. Still working with Zoom on that. I don't know what's going on with that, but nonetheless, here we go. As you know, AIWF Ringside Wrestling is putting a headlock on high advertising prices. You can advertise with us here for only $10 a month. That's a 30-second to 1-minute read, or it might last longer depending how we feel. But, you know, you're guaranteed a 30-second to 1-minute read. That's only $10 a month, folks. You can't get out of Starbucks with 2 cups of coffee for that. So we certainly invite you to join us. We can produce a video commercial for you too for $30 a month. Or if you'd like to just jump on for 1 week or something, maybe, you know, that you've got a special event coming up you want to share with the public, you can do that for $6 a week. It's a weekly fee of $6, but you get the whole month for $10. Not bad, Rick Diesel. You can't beat it. And of course, your advertisement will be featured on all these platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you find your favorite podcast, and now Roku as well, as some of our shows are being archived on the AIWF network on Roku. We certainly invite you to check that out and check us out anywhere you find your favorite podcasts. We're also on Instagram. You can search.
Too now. I am too now.
You're on Instagram now? Oh,
yes.
All right. Well, what's your handle so we can give you a follow?
Oh, I got a handle? Hell, I don't know. I have to look it up.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. I'll look it up here.
All you have to do for us, though, for the company Instagram, is at AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling. So just look for AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling at the top of the search bar, and you will find us. We're pretty active on Instagram. Instagram's a great place to advertise wrestling, man. There's a ton of wrestling on Instagram. So definitely check us out there. Also, we are brought to you by our friends at Premier Auto Detailing. We can make that old jalopy look like it just rolled off the showroom floor. All you have to do is call 336-883-5722 for more information. That's 336-883-5722 for more information for Premier Auto Detailing. Now, we do show the comparison here of the 73 Pinto on blocks and the 2022 Corvette. We can't guarantee you that the improvement will be that great, but your car will definitely be clean as a whistle when you get it back from Premier Auto Detailing. So again, reach out to them. Their number, one more time for those of you listening on podcast, is 336-883-5722. Available in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area of North Carolina, and tell them Ringside Wrestling sent you. We're also brought to you by Tees Creations Custom Apparel. If you need t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, or these mugs, these insulated mugs, can you see? Do those now too. So reach out to Tees Creations Custom Apparel, and you can find them at 2 places. You can find them at teescreations22.com, where you can order your t-shirts directly there, or you can reach out to them at facebook.com/teescreations. That's facebook.com/teescreations. And that website, once again, is teescreations22.com. That's no apostrophe there. It's just TSCREATIONS22.com. That's Tees Creations, custom t-shirts and all that jazz. Have they got anything new that we want to share with the fans, Rick Diesel, that you've seen?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it is.
It's all right. Maybe she'll call.
Maybe she'll call in a little bit. We'll ask her.
Yeah. Tristan's got a good habit of calling in this show. So
yeah.
Anyway, but what we were talking about earlier, yes, less than 2 weeks away from the big one. Saturday night, October 29th at Veterans Park in Mount Airy. It's Fright Night, AIWF spookiest show of the year. This show's been in operation since 1997, so that would make it a 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary.
Wow.
I sit and watch these. There's a lot of wrestling companies out there, and I sit there thinking, they'll do like so-and-so 22. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're doing like MMA does, like
the UFC 157.
UFC, yeah, they do like UFC does, and they'll like put a number on their show. This is Wrestle Monster 22 or whatever. And then because on our regular poster, we got Fright Night 25, and I'm sitting there thinking that ain't 25 shows. It is, but it's 25 years.
Yeah, because this is our annual Halloween bash. We had the first one at Elkin down at the National Guard Armory, and was it 97 or 98 where the fire marshal showed up and told us we couldn't let anybody in there anymore?
I can't remember. 98 was when Daniel Mays done the moonsault off the top of the light show.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yes.
It might have been 97.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It was packed though. I remember that. Like it was standing room only in there for one of those first two shows. It was fantastic. But anyway, this year's edition comes your way in just under 2 weeks. Saturday night, October 29th at Veterans Park in Mount Airy. You don't want to miss it. Ticket prices are the same. They're not raised for this show. $8 for the floor, $6 for the bleachers. And let's get into what we know so far is going to happen on Fright Night. Yes, Clara is going to be there, and she is going to put the AIWF Mid Atlantic Women's Championship on the line. She has issued an open challenge, and we just got our fingers crossed, Rick Diesel, that it is not going to be her beating up Ricky, the Mid Atlantic ring rat again.
God, I hope not. Maybe not.
But Clara is no stranger to skullduggery, so it very well may be.
or skull cracking, for that matter.
Yeah, she could do both. But it'd be interesting to see what Clara has in store for her, or who is going to accept this open challenge. Lady wrestlers out there, this is your chance. You could come to Mount Airy and take on this open challenge from Clara. I mean, I got to give her credit. This is pretty bold. John Cena used to do that with the U.S. title, and I always thought that it elevated the U.S. title a whole lot by him doing that, because you never knew who was going to come out there. This is a very bold thing to do. So we will see who challenges Clara coming up in a couple of weeks. Also, for this show, we have our announcement for our first ever cruiserweight title match. It's going to be Dirty Joe defending the AIWF Mid Atlantic Cruiserweight Championship against one Jay Malachi. Rick Diesel, very interesting. Jay Malachi appeared on AEW Dark a few weeks ago, and Taz absolutely butchered the pronunciation of his name.
I missed that. How did he say it?
And did Malachi? So gleefully. Yes, he said Malachi.
Really? Because it does kind of look like Malachi.
He did. It was he had the toughest time with it. And Taz is a professional radio man in New York City now. He's got his own sports talk show.
But why? Okay, why did he not say it? I don't give a damn if it's Bob White.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not ask? Why did Taz not ask? Anybody not ask? Okay, I want to make sure I get this guy's name right. Somebody check the pronunciation. And if it's one like this where it could be, different pronunciations, he should have known to say, hey, somebody help me here. I'll make sure I get this guy's name right.
Yeah, it was bad. I could not believe what I was hearing from Taz on it. And I know everybody says, well, Dark's just an internet show or whatever. Well, yeah, but if you're going to go to the trouble of hiring all those production people, because it is pretty clean. I mean, the production values are great on it. Why spend all that money on something like that? You're just gonna trash it. Or Jay Malachi maybe say something sideways. He's only 19 years old. Maybe he said something sideways to Taz in the locker room, and Taz did it on purpose.
And I'll put my money on this. It's a jobber show. And they just don't care.
Then why do it? It's what I'm getting at.
I'm not saying AEW don't care. I'm saying Taz don't care.
Oh, Taz.
This guy's nothing to him. What does he care if he pronounces his name right?
Right. That's true.
Not important to him.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, how long did the match last? How long did Taz have to get it right? 90 seconds, couple minutes?
No, it was longer than most matches on Dynamite. I mean, Dark. It seemed like it was like 3 or 4 minutes.
Tag or singles?
Single. I can't even remember who he wrestled, to be honest with you, because I was stunned by the lack of professionalism by Taz in that instance, because I'm just not used to that. I've listened to his radio show before. Dude is awesome, man. He is a great broadcaster. I go far to say, and I hope he'd never Tazplex me for this, but I honestly think he's a better talker than he was a wrestler, and he was a damn good wrestler. But I think he's found his true calling is broadcasting, radio work. I'm telling you, the guy's great, and I do not understand why he wouldn't care.
Because it's just some guy they pulled off the street to come in and take an ass whipping. I've always don't get me wrong. I like the old NWA, the Crockett, the jobbers, the enhancement talent, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
They made the show. Mm-hmm. They made the talent. But I don't like it now because of the egos involved in the business. But see, back then they didn't have the egos that they do now. The business policed itself.
Right.
Where now everybody just goes crazy. Now somebody goes on there and they'll spend 30 to 90 seconds taking an ass whipping on AEW Dark, and all of a sudden they think they're a superstar.
Yeah.
And they're on the same damn internet that they would be if they worked, for one of those goddamn, a backyard show.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. They have the same access to the same people. It's just the AEW name gets them a lot more views, but they don't get no more coverage, or you know what I'm saying? The AEW's internet don't cover more than Joe Blow's internet out behind the trailer park.
Everybody uses the internet. Everybody's got the same access to the internet. It's not like TV days.
Right. And I'll tell you right now, if AEW didn't have Dynamite and Rampage and a billionaire behind them, then the AEW Dark shows, if that's all they had was that internet show, then it would get 200 views a week too. I mean,
Yeah.
So don't get an attitude about it. You didn't do nothing there. You just went in and made their, somebody they like look good.
Yeah. And not saying
why they pronounce their name.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and this is no knock on Jay Malachi. No doubt about it. He's a tremendous competitor. He's a
hell of a dude. I mean, he's so professional. See, and that's why I don't think he said anything to maybe, I don't care if he's 19. Every time he comes to the Mid Atlantic and works for us, he's very professional, very low key. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He don't come in with this big attitude. And I don't think he will after Dark either. After he went on Dark, I don't think he will. I think he'll come back. He'll be the same Jay Malachi that we had the last time he was here before he went on AEW Dark. And he's that grounded. He's that down to earth, and he's a good dude.
And another thing about Jay Malachi that begs mentioning is he's got a great support system at home. His mother was so proud of him for appearing on that show. She just swooned over him on Facebook for that. And I got to say, as somebody who family didn't really support their dreams in wrestling, it's refreshing to see for other people. You know what I mean? It's nice to see these young guys, parents and relatives support them and all that kind of stuff. So just saying, it's really refreshing. So
he's like Robbie Eagle.
Robbie Eagle. And that's a name from the past.
Robbie Kellum, Robbie Eagle, Gorgeous George III, Maestro, Stro. Dude, his mom and dad spent so much money on him when he first got started, getting him promo pictures and gear.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, he had a support system. I'm surprised he didn't go farther than he did with the support system he had,
Yeah.
because I mean, they sent stuff to anybody that would open the mail back then.
Yeah. Wow. I did not know that about old Stro.
Yeah, when he first got in business, he come up here and worked for us.
Mhm.
So yeah, I have a picture of him somewhere with that big eagle on his belly.
Yeah.
I may have to pull that out. If I can find that, I'll whip it and send it to you sometime. Like, ladies and gentlemen, the first what is it? The first concerto of Stro.
Robbie Eagle. So anyway, yeah, so Jay Malachi gets his crack at the cruiserweight title coming up at Fright Night, and he's going to be ready to rock and roll. You know something, Jay Malachi does not really particularly care for the fans at all, but they seem to love him.
He's so damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't care how arrogant or or evil or cheaty or whatever you want to call it a wrestler is. If the fans like his attitude, or if he's that good in that ring, the fans are going to respect him for that nowadays. Yeah. I mean, and he's not a spot monkey either.
No,
he's a talented wrestler. He was trained good. He's a diamond in the rough nowadays, because he was trained very well, and it shows.
Yeah, and do we know where he was trained? Did he train with Kozo?
I feel like it was Greensboro. I feel like it was Firestone.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure because I've never asked. I just been glad to get him.
Yeah, he's a hell of a talent. He better be ready, because Dirty Joe has been the AIWF Cruiserweight Champion, Mid Atlantic Cruiserweight Champion since the springtime. And I'm telling you, I was there, and I'd say it a lot. I know bears worth repeating. He gave Scott Steiner, a legend in this business, all he could handle back in February in Spartanburg on that rock and roll FTR card. I'm telling you, I was there. People were up on their feet during that match, hollering and yelling. Dirty Joe, if Jay Malachi was what you call a spot monkey, Dirty Joe would run right through him. And it's a good thing he's not, because Dirty Joe has a tremendous base of amateur specialty and is just as strong as a freaking mule. And man, this one could go either way, even though I kind of favor Dirty Joe on this because just of the experience. But man, Rick Diesel, this is going to be one hell of a match. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, it's just like I said when they posted this match has potential stealing the whole show right here. Everybody's going to have to work hard. It goes on after this. Yeah. I hope this is the first match of the night, for the simple fact that it'll make every other match work harder.
Yeah, that would be all right. Well, you got a little stroke around here. You could probably make that happen if you insisted. Let's see.
Hey, listen, even Vince used to put titles on first at pay-per-views.
Yeah. It does. It works. I mean,
it does. It's a proven formula.
I heard an interview with Tito Santana done many years ago, and he wrestled the opening match for WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania, and he said that Vince walked up to him and said, "Tito, I need you to go out and work the first match," and he kind of looked at him like, I'm a mid-card main event type star, you know. He kind of just gave Vince a sideways look, and Vince said, "I know, but what I need you to do is go out there and get them off their asses. I want them up." And so Tito Santana went out there and did that. And I'm telling you what, if this match kicked off the event that night, holy crap, man, they would be up. That's for sure.
Well, Vince McMahon pretty much single-handedly ended the phrase curtain jerk.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a time first match was, you know, a lot of guys took it as an insult.
Yeah.
You know, you put me out there first because you wanted to, while the crowd's just sitting down, they might not all be here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, still getting popcorn. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and they're getting settled in. You put me out there first. That must mean you ain't got no confidence in me. Mm-hmm. But Vince McMahon, believe it or not, he changed that around because he started putting those title matches. And he did it first. Everybody knows he did it first because WCW came after him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, when they really got to going, but on the pay-per-views, they would get where they put title matches out there first or good matches out there first. And that done away with the whole curtain jerk thing. Now it's actually a privilege. You got your opening, your closing, and everything in the middle is the meat of the sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you get chosen to go on first or last, it's like a huge
It's
honor.
a privilege. Don't take it no other way.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, talking about going on first, where John Cena, I think, and AJ Styles were scheduled to main event the pay-per-view, and they went out there first. It was just WWE trying something. Yeah. And they went like 20 minutes and just had this epic match. And I remember the guy that used to run our HOA, the president, Frank, was sitting with me watching that show that night. And he looked at me and he goes, well, how the hell is anybody going to follow that? And I was like, I don't know, man. Now, Dean Ambrose.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
Make them.
Yeah.
Earn your damn money.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, and Dean Ambrose and John Moxley, was they call him now, and Bray Wyatt went on last that night, and they did a hell of a good job. But following Cena and AJ that night, it was just, you have to be superhuman to do that.
Yeah.
All right, now here's a matchup that I am very, very interested in. It's a TLC match, but not your traditional TLC match. Oh no, it looks like another first ever for the AIWF Mid Atlantic, a Tombstones, Lanterns, and Casket match.
I have no idea what's this entail.
Sin Crowley against Don Pete of the Fighters Club. Oh my goodness. Sin Crowley's got a bone or two to pick with the Fighters Club. Just about everybody in the Mid-Atlantic's got a problem with them now. But anyway, Tombstones, Ladders, and Casket matches. I was going to ask you, Rick Diesel, what in the world? I know what a casket match is, but
I don't know how tombstones I could figure could be decoration, but what about, how does the lanterns come in? If they don't set each other on fire, all the lights gonna go out. It's the only way they're gonna be able to have people standing around the ring with flashlights. I don't know.
Well, you know,
I guess we'll find out at Fright Night on the 29th. That's all I can say.
If this poster would have come out 2 weeks ago, my first inkling would have been like, oh, we got Bray Wyatt. He's, but no, he's back on SmackDown. But no, but Tombstones, Lanterns, is somebody going to get burned?
I don't know.
Oh man, so we don't even know.
I guess we'll find out just like everybody else that night.
Yeah, I guess we will. So this has the potential to be absolutely crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And as we move forward during the weeks, we hope to find out, get some more match announcements for you. Because believe me, the three that we've talked about are not all. Again, a Saturday night, October 29th in Veterans Park in Mount Airy. And there you can see it on that poster, what you were talking about, Fright Night 25. Yeah, this is the 25th Fright Night, the 25th anniversary.
There's 25 of them, but by God, it took 25 years to get here. We don't do one every other month and add another number to it.
No, but this is just absolutely fantastic. So I cannot wait to see what happens. Tombstones, Lanterns, and Casket match.
I don't know.
I know that when I get out of the car and come to the building that day, the first thing I'm going to do is walk into the officials and be like, all right, please explain what the hell this is to me. Maybe we can find out before then. I don't know. That would be kind of nice if we could get a scoop from some of the people that are in charge of that. But I don't know. They kind of keep quiet sometimes. Real quick, let's pay some bills real quick again. ARC, arcnc.org, arnc.org. This message is brought to us by Bill Pauley, who's grew up with a disability, and he just got sick and tired of people telling him, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that because of your disability. Bill Pauley has been in the wrestling business now for 15 years, and now he's got a son that also has a disability, and he wants to pass the message along that you can do anything that you put your mind and heart to. And Bill Pauley's been sponsoring this message with us, and we've been featuring this website, this group out of Raleigh, arcnc.org. They help people with disabilities and with all kinds of different support, advocacy, easy for me to say, disability news, all that stuff you see there, you can donate to them. Or if you have a disability or know somebody with a disability, you can reach out to them at arcnc.org. That's arcnc.org. So you definitely want to reach out to them. arcnc.org. Oh man, these late hours. I'm having trouble just pronouncing regular words today. Also, let's go back as to our first sponsor here, Branch Management. They are a tree service that operates in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area of North Carolina. That can help you with branches that are maybe too close to structures, normal pruning, or complete tree removal. They offer free estimates and are here to serve you. You may also be eligible for a $100 referral bonus for the tree service. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call them at 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994. Let me give you those numbers again, wrestling fans, for the tree service. Now, this is pruning, complete tree removal. You just want a branch cut off, so whatever's ailing your tree doesn't spread to the rest of it. If you got a sick branch or something, call them 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994 for more information or to set up an appointment. And a reminder here for the tree service, they offer free estimates. So if you call them up, you've got a problem tree that you want looked at. Hey, is this thing dangerous? Is it going to fall on my rental property? Crush my tenants, something like that. They'll come out and take a gander at it for you and give you a free estimate of what it'll take to correct the issue, or if it needs correcting at all. They'll be glad to come out and take a look at your tree situation for absolutely nothing. Also, Branch Management offers gutter cleaning, landscaping, and a pressure washing service. All you have to do is reach out to them. That's a different number though, folks. 336-648-2487. That's for the landscaping, pressure washing, and gutter cleaning. And Rick Diesel, it is near that time of year.
Yes,
that we need the gutter cleaning. So 336-648-2487 for Branch Management, landscaping, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, the whole 9 yards.
They've started doing some leaf management this week too. This past week, getting leaves out of people's yard.
Yeah. So if you're unable to get up the leaves, or too lazy, or just don't feel like fooling with it, you can call Branch Management. 336-648-2487. And finally, last but not least, the most delicious sponsor we have, Tees Treats, the food truck service that operates out of Mount Airy. They are available in most parts of the state and can be at multiple locations at the same time. They have a full menu, including hot dogs, not hamburgers anymore. They got rid of that. Chicken, milkshakes, ice cream, many varieties of funnel cakes, and now feature mini donuts. And I like the logic behind getting rid of the hamburgers, because everybody sells hamburgers, and so now they offer pizza though.
Pizza,
yeah. So you get pizza off the food truck now. When it comes to delicious quality as well as reasonable prices, you cannot beat Tees Treats. You can find out more information about Tees Treats at facebook.com/Tees Treats, or you can call them at 336-755-8204, 336-755-8204. So Tees Treats was set up for Autumn Leaves Festival, Rick Diesel, out on the highway yesterday. How did they do?
They didn't do bad. Matter of fact, between Friday and Saturday, they done so good they didn't have no stock to go back out today.
That is what you call a good problem to have right there.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And Tees Treats is plum delicious, folks. I cannot put over the hot dog chili enough. Now, my wife loves the dessert. She's got a sweet tooth, but anything you get off that food truck is just absolutely great, guys. And look, when you need an expert opinion on good food, you call in a fat guy. So if anybody remembers the investigative reporting I did for Mark Childry back in 2015 for the great Martinsville Speedway Wiener debacle of 2015, as he so aptly titled it, you'll remember that I said that you call in a fat guy, and so but that issue got resolved. So trust me when I tell you this is great food. And if you're in Mount Airy at these street festivals and stuff, and you see T's Treats, stop in and see them. Absolutely. What do they got coming up this week? Do you know?
I'm not really sure. The Glow Party in Pilot Mountain.
Glow Party.
Yeah, it's
I immediately went to Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I mean, that would be nice, but it's like everybody runs around with glow sticks and alcohol, as far as I can tell. I don't know, but I'll take some pictures and we'll have them next week.
Okay, awesome.
I'd be interested.
Yes, it would. Glow sticks and alcohol. Alcohol fueled mayhem. T's Treats, I'll get them drunk. T's Treats will sober them up, right? So speaking of treats, we've got a treat from the archives here this week that we got sent at the last minute, and I am so happy to see it. It is the first ever Toolbox match. Took place in
the very first one.
Yes, it took place in Wentworth, North Carolina, at the Reedsville Armory. I don't know why they call it the Reedsville Armory when it's in Wentworth.
No, as long as we can remember.
One of the strangest mysteries in wrestling, right, in North Carolina. But anyway, a great place to see wrestling, though, because the room just has incredible sound. But and I think
this is an old tape. This is an old match, by the way, so that the quality may not be to everybody's standards, but I
mean, it ain't bad to have been shot in 97. I will say that. Can you guys see it now? We'll go ahead and roll it, and we can talk about it as we watch it. So it was Dangerous Don Carson in the foreground there with the Ghost Rider Jackie Anderson, who goes right to the toolbox. No luck. And then in the background, good old boy Leroy McCoy and Steve Niles. Good old boy Leroy McCoy is actually the first guy that brought me to AIWF. So he kind of, I guess the old expression, he broke me into the business.
Now here I can tell you, Matt, we knew right off the bat, Don Carson had to be in this match. There was just no way around it. He had to be the leader of the match because he knew what needed to be done.
Right.
Jackie Anderson got put in this match because, well, at the time, I can't remember. I think Jackie was kind of he was on the bad side, I guess is the best way to say it at that time. He was not very well liked.
No.
But he's old school. Steve Niles was in this match because Steve Niles was like a human crash test dummy. He would take anything, he would do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm really not sure why Kool-Aid was there. I mean, maybe we just need to round out the size of the ring. The good old boy, Leroy McCoy, we all called him Kool-Aid. We know that.
Yeah.
Not really sure how he got in that match, but he didn't do bad. He hung in there with them.
Yeah, he did hang in. He got tortured, though. They say.
Well, I mean, he did real good until the jumper cables come out.
Yeah, they say the screen. Dr. Bill Payton said the screen. There's Major Havoc hitting Chains with a chair. Chains was part of the TVA. There's Robert Roma, which is not really smart at the time. But Major Havoc had been pile driven through a table a few weeks before this and had just gone out of his freaking mind and was just wandering around whacking various people with the chairs.
Yeah.
He put me in a Stone Cold Stunner and Smith Grove during this time. I was just trying to interview him, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up in the locker room and the official's like, "Hey, can you call the rest of the show?" And I'm like, what in the world is going on? So
now, also, if you see over in that far corner, it was that at the time was known as Luscious Kevin.
Sergeant Stryker.
Later, now. Kevin Stryker.
Yeah, I think
and Jim Bolin.
Yeah, I see Jim Bolin out there. Yeah, I think he owns some sort of a thrift shop or something in Eden right now. He
runs the Preppy Pirate now.
The Preppy Pirate. What's
that? It's like it's like a beachwear or something. I don't know, but he's doing really good.
Yeah. He's always a business-minded guy. There's Major Havoc just walking around there back of the building. This is absolutely chaos, though. There's a lot of people on the outside. Look at that. Chains just coming in. There's no DQs in a match like this. So
no, I mean, how can you have any with a box full of weapons in the middle of it?
Exactly. And so we're going to post this. This has commentary on it. It's been edited down a little bit, which I think is probably for the best. But you can, and we're going to post this separately on the Ringside Wrestling channel either sometime later today or tomorrow.
All I ask, Matt, is if you see those jumper cables come out, if you can turn the volume up long enough to have.
Yeah, I might have to stop sharing and like reset it.
Okay.
Because
no, I mean, if it's too much trouble, that's fine.
No, we can do it. We can do it. We just.
I mean, if you could just, if people could just hear.
Or does he?
Good old boy screaming. It was like a banshee.
Yeah, it was horrifying.
It was bone chilling.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Don Carson's got a drill right there. Thank God it wasn't plugged in. He couldn't find a cord long enough to see what he's got now. He went in and got something. Oh, look at that, a pair of pliers that he's got
in the nose. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And there's Carson. He actually got the toolbox itself and used it as a weapon. Major Havoc was not in this match, so he could not win it. He just got involved.
He was just out there. He was just, I don't know. You couldn't control him back then.
No, it took him, God, a better part of a year to get over the delusions from that head injury. And good old boy just crawling around. He's just having a hard time. Carson.
I don't think I think after about the first 5 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, this match, I don't even know if he stood up anymore.
He didn't. I wasn't going to say it. But he didn't.
He just crawled around. But see, this is what the toolbox match was intended. You know what I'm saying? This is how it was intended to be.
Yeah, just a chaotic fight.
Brutally chaotic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be, that means people get punched in the nuts, but it was, bless her heart.
Well, this is long about the time that movie with David Arquette about wrestling came out. And so Don Carson used the pliers, or had the pliers used on him.
Yeah, I was right there. Yes, sir. It was.
Don Carson, look at Major Havoc with that's a wrench right there. That's an adjustable wrench he got on Jackie Anderson.
I think it was channel locks is what they call it.
There
they are.
All right, hang on. Yeah, let me pause. Yeah, this is we're gonna let me stop sharing real quick and reset these settings.
I'm sorry, Matt.
No.
It was that. I think it was that. I think Don got him with a drill at one time, and
he did. Yeah, we saw the drill just a second ago. So, all right. So I'm going to I've requeued this thing up a little bit here, and we're going to join this with sound. So adjust your speakers a little bit, because when I take this thing off mute, it's probably going to
it is a
levels real loud.
I'm hoping the sound is there.
Yeah. Oh, the sound's there. I checked it last night. It's there. Yeah. Here, let me just ease it up about halfway so it doesn't blow anybody's earbuds.
I mean, the sound of him screaming. I hope it's.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's find out. Here we go. I'm on mute. Here we go.
Another 20, of course, being the entrance to the ring. He has not been on his feet since the first time he went. Carson with a pair of jumper cables. Oh, dear God. Robert Roma having a good time. They're having some kind of sick thrill off all this. Steve Niles in all kinds of trouble. Jackie Anderson now's a good boy again.
Steve Niles, human crash test.
Roma's strolling around.
Tough guy.
Chains is just there. That's a problem enough.
That's a clamp.
Havoc with another chair. Yeah, and he's not even in this match officially.
I think the screaming starts sometime right around here. Jackie Andrews, good old boy's leg.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Jackie skipped over the good old boy. And Havoc gets the chair. Very gracefully. Out of the ring goes Anderson, waiting to change. Uh-oh. Roma has got that anchor chain or something. That's a big chain. And he just caught.
There we go.
Steve Niles just went to the.
Is this one where?
Watch.
Girl boy's going to get that. Oh, right on his leg. Right on that bad wheel.
Oh, this is brutal. Oh.
that's
Steve
gnarly.
Niles almost died that night, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's slammed the old vertebrae together. Now watch.
If it
Oh,
was-
Watch
look at
this.
this. Havoc and Carson double teaming the good old boy. Roma, they'll go back in with a toolbox. Now, there's a lot of dangerous stuff there. Oh, good old boy is getting squashed.
I'm not sure good old boy was ever the same after this
I
match.
don't think he was. And look, Anderson's got the figure 4 on him. Listen,
Oh, man.
That's him.
yes.
There's the screaming.
And pain and misery coming out of the ring.
What more did you expect in the Toolbox Brawl?
Oh, my God. This is a hellish match, fans.
Oh no.
Oh no!
He hurt Jackie
Took them
too.
both down with that one.
That right there is why Don Carson was in this match,
They are trying
because
Leroy
he could just invent ways to hurt
a
people.
short-lived
Yeah.
return to the
And he didn't care.
The good old boy is being mauled. Oh,
Oh,
Go might
okay.
finish him.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. He's got a lot of padding there.
Jackie Anderson laid out, but the figure 4 is still on.
yeah, Jackie got knocked out and never broke.
Oh, my God.
I tell you what, the Toolbox
Oh, God bless you, Don.
looking about as bad as these wrestlers right now.
We knew
I
that
don't know what
night
to say.
after this match, we knew we had something. And we knew this match right here could go on.
The good old boy is
That
left.
this
all
match-
over- Oh, no.
Had to be a staple for us. You know what I'm saying? We knew what it was that night.
Watch this. I know for those of you listening to podcasts, it's driving you
break the
crazy. But
Toolbox or break the good old boy's
Carson
leg.
has good old boy's leg in the toolbox. It slams the lid with
But
the
it's
chair.
screaming.
Yes.
It's chilling to hear him scream.
Roma. Oh, my God. They're helping Havoc out.
Oh,
No, they're not. Over here. I'm sorry, fans. This is hard to call.
This
But
sweet
you know
daddy.
what, dude, though, man? It honestly,
where's
is that Sweet Daddy coming to save?
Yeah, he
Looks like
got
Sweet Daddy coming to save a good old boy. It is.
Yeah, that's him.
the good old boy just
It's like
is leaving
somebody's like, just go, please, God, go get him out of there before he dies.
Steve Niles got a
Oh my goodness, that's the end of the clip. But yeah, a wild time in that match. Well, that brought back some painful memories, didn't it?
God, yes, my eyes were watering. But you know what? Like I said, we knew what we had
Mhm.
when that match happened. We knew what we had right then, and that match has been around for, God bless, 25 years.
Yeah, that happened in '97, in the spring of '97. That match happened.
And we still have that match to this day at Extreme Content. You know, it's a staple match for Extreme Content now. But you know what? I don't know if we've ever duplicated that first one for the
No.
violence because of Don Carson and Steve Niles and Jackie Anderson. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, we knew we had something that night, but let's say, here we are 25 years later. Let's tell the truth. The thing was a little clunky. There is footage floating around on YouTube of that match in its entirety. I'm going to post this version of it on the Ringside YouTube page either later tonight or tomorrow. But the thing about that match is everybody in the match had to be eliminated, right? And so it kind of like the ending was kind of drawn out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Don Carson actually he was so dominant in that everybody was hurt so bad. Carson pinned the good old boy 1, 2, 3. Then he went over, popped Steve Niles again, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Then went over, popped Jackie Anderson. I can't remember if it was in that order, but Carson actually eliminated everybody else in that match by himself, and it was so
Well,
violent.
technically, by he did have help outside, but
He did. I mean, Roma and Chains were, cleaning clocks outside. But man, I'm telling you, That was a wild time that night. I will never
The
forget
match has evolved. I mean, differently now. I'd love to go back the way it was. I don't know. We've had some awesome toolbox matches. And do you know, Matt, 25 years later, I could be completely wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, we are still, after 25 years, the only company that does that match.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I think other people are like, well, I mean, how do you top it? It's basically a tornado, no DQ match with it. And the best thing about it is all the weapons have to be in the toolbox. You never know what's going to come out of there. We've seen different things come out of it different years because I think they, I really don't know how the weapon selection is done. I think the competitors have something to do with it. They're allowed to choose what they want to put in the toolbox, but you don't know what everybody else is putting in the toolbox because nobody sees it until it's brought, it's closed up and brought to the ring right before the match. So really, I could say if I was in the match, okay, I got a kendo stick and an axe handle. Those are and
if they'll fit in the toolbox.
If they'll fit in the toolbox, I got that in the toolbox. But I don't know what Rick Diesel, Brian Danzig, Jay Malachi, Dirty Joe are putting in there. And so when I come to the ring and open it up, it's no telling what I'm going to find. So
hey, if it's Rick Diesel, Brian Danzig, it might be Bad Brad stuff.
If you can make him fit, he probably still fit to this day. You got him in a trash can.
But we're still, if I'm not mistaken, I think we still use the same toolbox or one just about like it.
Yeah,
I know that toolbox is still floating around somewhere.
Oh yeah. And I just want everybody to know we saw Steve Niles take the toolbox to the head over the top rope. And we joked about, that'll smush the old vertebrae together. Steve Niles, I will have you know, to this day, walks and functions just fine. And so he's still walking.
And he's in the Hall of Fame because of the things he done.
Yes. And up until just a few years ago, Steve Niles didn't retire until what, 2017, 2018?
Something like it. It wasn't that long. He come back and he done a few things because it was at the Mount Airy Armory within the last few years that he took the super kick or whatever it was and went through the door of the cage in that cell block match.
Yeah.
Somebody super kicked him, I think it was. If anybody knows about this, please send me a message and we can say and correct me. But I think he took a super kick, went backwards through the door of the cage and landed flat on his back on the concrete from the ring. Missed the steps completely. How he done that, I'll never know.
Very painfully. That's probably why he retired.
He was gone not long after that.
Yeah, no kidding. And
I thought he was dead that night too. So.
He also, that you saw the power drill in the original toolbox match. Well, Steve Niles remembered that, and it was just in that same period of time during his last run, he was in a match with somebody and he tried to use a power drill. And the cord wasn't long enough and it pulled out of the wall before he could get it in the ring. And Scott Allen and Jonathan Darwin made fun of him on commentary for that. So this is Steve Niles in a nutshell. Steve Niles is like, okay, fine. He goes out and gets a super long, one of them 100-foot long drop cords that would stretch from one end of the armory and back, right? Next time comes back for a rematch, brings that same drill. This time he's got it plugged in and he takes it in the ring and uses it on his opponent. And we were all sitting there like, oh,
God bless Steve Niles.
Yeah. So
if you ever get a chance to watch any of Steve Niles versus the Red Scorpion or the Scorpion later after you come out from under the mask.
Yeah.
Because that was one where they had all the chairs in the ring. Remember?
Oh, they
had all those chairs in the ring.
That might have been. They wrestled so many times around a loop. They all kind of blur together because remember we were running shows every week in a different building back then, and so some of that kind of blurs together. But
the two were so brutal with each other, though. They just they meshed together really well.
And that's a weird thing about the Scorpion. He could come out there, and if you want to wrestle scientific catch can style, he could do that. But if you came out there swinging a chair and wanting to put 3 people through tables, he could do that too.
Was it him I think I'm pretty sure it was a Scorpion. I can't remember where it was. And I think it was the War Machines that put him through a flaming table with thumbtacks on it. And the thumbtacks melted to his back.
Yeah, I think it was.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Graham, North Carolina. I can't remember, but I remember his back just had little red dots all over it where the thumbtacks had got so hot they melted to his back.
What was that down at that place in Wallace, North Carolina?
It might have. That Wallace is where I burnt Robbie Evil's face off.
Yeah, and that was the weirdest wrestling crowd.
That's also where we first met Creeping Death.
Is it?
He come to that show because he was from Myrtle Beach. And
the one that far.
That's where we first met him.
I
can't remember which foot my shoes go on in the mornings, but I can remember things like that.
Yeah, but
old age.
Do you remember the crowd in Wallace? We had a good crowd. The people that put on the show really did a good job of selling the pre-tickets and advertising it around town. We had a good crowd. Like almost all the seats in the building were full, but they were deader than 4 o'clock. They were just sitting there watching. You know, it was like wrestling in Japan.
Seen anything like us before.
Yeah, and you think they were just
I truly believe that had a lot because the fans after that show was telling us how amazing it was. We hope we come back. And we only went there once.
Yeah, well, it's such a long trip. I mean, it was way out there in the middle of nowhere,
like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah,
but in that I remember I rode in that old ring truck.
Oh Lord!
But and somebody was threw up on the padding in the back. But
that wasn't me.
I truly believe that they were dead from shock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we were just crazy back then. I mean, like I said, that's when I caught Robbie Evil on fire and it burned all the hair off his face.
And for perspective, for some of you younger folks that may be watching, this is 97, 98. The whole ECW craze was at its height, and we were doing the hardcore stuff too. And so people in North Carolina that maybe grew up on Jim Crockett Promotions and then stopped watching wrestling when it became WCW, and then they hear, oh boy, live wrestling's coming back.
Right.
And they're thinking in their frame of reference, they have not seen live wrestling since 88, and it's a Jim Crockett NWA style. And we come in there, these bunch of unknowns, and people are going through tables, getting set on fire, and chairs swinging, thumbtacks, and they're
it is before the internet.
Yeah,
it was before the internet craze, and the best of my knowledge, the farthest south at the time that I knew of that ECW was, I mean, in our area, was Martinsville.
Yeah,
because for a while they was on the same station we were on, wasn't they?
Yeah, WSSV carried them, sure did, and that was the only place you could see them. But that was because one of the producers, Doug, was a wrestling fan, and he finagled his way to get. He got ECW syndicated on that channel. Smoky Mountain, when that was in business, syndicated on that channel, and Burt Prentice's outfit from, I think they were from Nashville, the wrestling at Burt Prentice run.
Memphis or Nashville, somewhere out of there.
Yeah, and he got that, and
us.
Yeah, and
it was us and 3 monsters. We was the little fish in the big pond there for a while, but still they loved us. We were just as popular as either the rest of them.
And that shows, see, Smoky Mountain never ran anywhere near around Martinsville, right? So what Doug did after Smoky Mountain closed up was he just went back to the archives because I don't know if he had to send the tapes back to Cornette or not, but in one way or another, he had copies. I think he might have taped them himself on Super Beast, and he kept running Smoky Mountain TV late at night because every night at 11 o'clock on that station for several years, there was a wrestling show on, you know, whether it be us, ECW, Smoky Mountain, Burt Prentice, whatever. And he kept rerunning Smoky Mountain. So I didn't even find out that Smoky Mountain Wrestling had gone out of business until I came into the AIWF. And it was like, no, Cornette closed that thing up last year. And I'm like, what? It's still showing on Martinsville TV. So, you know.
They loved their wrestling in Martinsville, boy. God bless every one of them.
Yeah. And
thank you, Charles Rourke, for bringing us up there.
Yeah, no kidding. And
I can tell you, I know we're getting short on time because of your schedule, but remind me someday. I'll tell you the story. I'll tell everybody the story of how that happened.
I bet you it has something to do with ACW coming up there before the AIWF. And no, because they came up there and run a show one time, and all of about 12 of us showed up and watched it.
No, this is the story of how AIWF got put on Martinsville TV.
All right, we'll have
Remind me to tell you that story.
Maybe we can do that next week, because that's going to put us in the Wayback Machine. We just visited 97. This is going to take us back to 94, I believe. Yep. But anyway, so Rick Diesel, any final thoughts? We got Fright Night coming up on October 29th. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
We've announced 3 matches, and we've got the best one still yet to come. So.
Yeah. Ooh, so keep an eye on Facebook, everybody.
By next week, we'll have them all. We should have them all out so we can talk about it next week.
Cool. So keep an eye on Facebook, folks. That's where the announcements go up first. I try to get them over to Instagram as quick as possible after that. So, and sometimes I'm slower about that than other times, but look, guys, just for real, my shoot job has got me on a wacky schedule right now. So please just bear with me. I'm telling
you, Matt, you can bitch and groan and complain with Zoom all you want to, but this ain't a bad thing right here.
No, it's not. It's not. But I mean, you know, I pay for the service, so I want it to work.
I guess.
So it's to be an option, right? You know.
Yeah.
But well, our sponsors pay for the service, so they, you know, it needs to work. So thank you, sponsors. Love you all. Thank you. All right. So anyway, folks, we're going to get out of here. Be on the lookout for that the clips that we just looked at of the Toolbox match to be up on the Ringside Wrestling channel on YouTube soon. Rick Diesel, thank you so much as always. So for Commissioner Rick Diesel, I am Mad Matt Carter saying thank you so much for watching AIWF Ringside Wrestling this week. We'll be back next week, fans. And until next time, so long for now.